Okay, let's get started. Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2. The last two episodes of Season 4 are already available to stream on Netflix. This is not the last season, since we have Season 5 that will be the last one. This was confirmed even before Season 4 hit Netflix. So just a little warning there, so don't freak out. This is not the ending yet, but we are near to it. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them just to see if this was worth it or not, in the description box down below, you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I like to give you guys the two options. So giving the little disclaimer and talk, let's get into the video. Now, chapter 8 starts right where we left on the first part of this season, that we have Nancy under Vecna's visions. He basically is going to show her the future of Hawkins if he's able to succeed to his plan. That is basically destroy everything, as always. Now, this particular scene, it reminds me a little bit to A Nightmare on Elm Street, because she's called Nancy, and also the way that everything is happening, it kind of looks like a dream, so it reminds me a little bit of that. But because of the trailer, we always thought that Eddie was going to be saving Nancy with the guitar, but we were wrong. Vecna actually lets Nancy to live so that she can tell to the rest what is going to happen, because he doesn't care if they know or not, because he's almost this close to do it, since we learned that Vecna needs 4 deaths in order to succeed on his plan. He already has 3. He has Chrissy, he has Nancy's friend, and Jason's friend that died on the lake. He needs 1 more in order to succeed. But of course, Nancy is not going to let that happen, and all the rest of the group. So she tells to everybody, and at the same time, Eleven, since was also watching this vision at the same time because of her powers, now they got back, she's able to also know, and she wants to leave the Nina Project so that she can leave to Hawkins and save everyone. But of course, Dr. Brenner doesn't want this. So we have a little bit of a fighting, and eventually she gets drugged, and she has a collar just like number 1 used to have. So she's being controlled. But the military appears at the right moment for the right reasons. They want to kill 11. But of course, Dr. Brenner is not going to let that to happen. So he takes her to leave, and when they are on the outside, that it's basically the middle of nowhere, they start shooting him, so he lies on the floor. He's almost dying. And on the same time where 11 is almost about to get killed, Mike, Jonathan will appear. We have the pizza truck coming by. I thought that was kind of funny, having the pizza truck coming really fast. And the shooters, they miss 11, and by the time that they're going to hit her, she's already up and ready to fight. So because of her power, she's able to drop the helicopter that the shooters were in. She kills them, and she's able to leave. With the rest of the group, we're finally seeing the reunion of Mike and 11 once again. Now, before this happens, we are able to see what Will was painting, and he shows him to Mike. And it's a dragon with all of them like fighting against it. And Mike has a heart on the painting. And this scene can be taken as a confession of Will to Mike's. There's people that are interpreting this scene, and it kind of looks like it, that Will is in love with Mike, but Mike doesn't realize it because he's so focused on 11 and he loves 11, that even Jonathan kind of realizes the fact that his brother is in love with his best friend. But Mike doesn't make the click, and it's kind of sad, because after, it's not a complete confession, like he's not telling him I love you, but it's how he makes him feel. But of course, he's trying to make him think like it's 11 the one that it's feeling that way. Like he's saying, you don't make her feel like an error, but in reality is that you don't make me feel like an error. And when all of that ends, Will, like, he kind of shifts to the side and he's sobbing and he's heavy crying, and it's like, Mike, how the hell you're not realizing that your best friend is crying on the side of you? But well, at least we saw what was on the painting. Dr. Brenner dying on the ground and 11 holding his hand, and he's like saying, I did this because I love you. I did all of this thinking of you. I never wanted to hurt you, that type of thing. But of course you can see that she's mad. She's pissed about everything that she needs to pass through because of him. So he's like, I need you to understand. I need you to tell me that you understand why I did this. She never tells him. She just takes his hand, lay it on the floor, and she leaves. And the last thing that Dr. Brenner sees is Levin living, and he gets to die on the middle of nowhere. And we have the military just coming in time to see her leave. We never see them again on the rest of the episode, but of course they're looking at her, so we will have to see how that would affect season 5, since for what we know, season 5 will have a jump in time. How much, we don't know. I am estimated maybe 3 to 4 years, since I read that they were going to make them align with the actual ages of the actors. And they are basically in college by the age, if we want to see it that way. So maybe by the time that we return, they are leaving for college, at least Mike, 11, well, that types, and of course Nancy and Steve and Jonathan, of course, they're well older. But we will have to wait. But I think that this military thing is not over and 11 is not safe. Now, of course, while all of this is happening, we have Joyce and Hopper and Murray on Russia, and they're trying to leave. Yuri has an helicopter, but it doesn't really work. Doesn't work, of course, because he never is going to do something because he wants to. Of course, he's going to try to take the best advantage of it. We don't really see much of them on this episode in particular. We see more of them on the last one. While all of that is happening, we have on Hawkins, Nancy, Steve, Robin, all that group together, including Eddie. They're going to fight Vecna. They created a plan, and they're going to the Upside Down once again to finally kill Vecna once and for all. And basically the episode ends with Journey's Separate Ways. The mix that they made for the trailer, they put it here as the background music. I love it, that mix. I love that song, but it fits perfectly. So we have them, Max, Erica, and Lucas, into Victor's Crane house, but on Hawkins. And we have Steve, Dustin, Eddie, and Nancy that are going to the house, but on the Upside Down. So they're going to be meeting on the same house, but of course on different parts of the universe here. And that's basically how it ends. I thought that this scene, that end scene, it was like preparing yourself for what's coming. That is 2 hours and a half of pure madness and tension and sadness and a lot of emotions at the same time. So the last episode, it's of course way longer, has a lot of things, but it kind of wraps up everything in a really good way. So I am not that mad about it. And we're finally on now episode 9, the last one, the end of the season, the one that we have waiting the most. Everything that we have waiting happened here. Now I'm going to give a brief summary, because the reality is that if I give you every single detail about this episode, I'm going to be here talking for a very long time. Now, of course, we have Max, we have Luca and Erica on Victor's Crane house. Now, Max is going to make herself the decoy. She wants Vecna to get into her so he can be distracted, while Nancy, Steve, Robin are on the house, because we have Eddie and Dustin that are going to be taken away and distracting the bats that are on the house. And this is when the guitar scene happens. It was iconic. Eddie is going to play Master of Puppets by Metallica. This is, if you have heard the song before, it's a pretty long song, but they don't play it completely, but I just loved it. I think that they got a really good song for this scene. So while we have Eddie and Dustin, they are taking away the bats to another side so that the house is free. We have Nancy, Steve, and Robin on the inside of the house. We have Max that is taken by Vecna once again. We are seeing more memories as well. But guess who appears while the plan is in action? Jason. Someone tells him that Luca is on the house. They get to the house. I'm going to say it straight away, Jason gets killed, and I am so happy about it. I didn't care about him. I hated him more than I hate Vecna, and that's a lot. I hated this man with passion and I am happy that he's dead, but he doesn't die because of Vecna, so he doesn't count as the fourth death. So he's just being tossed aside, nothing happens to him, move on. We can move on, we don't need to remember him once again. So while that fight happened, Max is still taken by Vecna, and we're seeing some other memories, but 11, it's on Nevada. But while this is happening, since 11 has now the ability and her powers back, she gets into a pool of salt that is basically a refrigerator from a surfer's pizza place that they found in Nevada, and she's able to connect herself with Max while all of that is happening with Vecna. She's able to transport herself to Hawkins on the mine. So we of course have the reunion of Max with 11 on her mind, and finally we see Vecna against 11. A great scene, a great fighting. We're able to see how they're matching each other in power. They're pretty similar. I think that they're pretty even, but of course we're going to have one first winning, the other one losing, and then vice versa, of course, since this is not the ending. So while all of this is happening, we have Hopper, Joyce, and all the group of Russia. They click basically, since they're able to call and they're able to know what is happening, because one person of the government that were the ones that were taking away 11, they're able to communicate with them and they tell them what is happening. So Joyce has this idea of basically shutting down the portal that is in Russia so that it can be weak for Vecna and easier for the kids to get to Vecna. So we have them all trying to kill the Demogorgons and to not close, but like making the portal weak enough. So we have them, all of that. We have Hopper and Joyce kissing. I was so excited. They're kissing, they're together. I love them. I mean, they need to be together. Like, they need to be together. We have them, all of that. We don't really see much of them. The reality, we don't really see much. We have the group of Hawkins, and then we have the group of 11 in Nevada. She's on the pool. All of them are surrounding her. All of this is happening. Vecna is taking the advantage. And this is when things get ugly. He's basically overpassing 11. He had her through a wall. She's hanging and with the tentacles, and he's going to try to kill her. He has Max on the other side, and this is when things get like hella ugly, since he almost killed Max to the point that Max is actually pronounced dead and Max dies. For a minute, like, don't be scared. I was scared. It was a really shocking and sad scene. I cry a lot during the episode, I'm not gonna lie, coming into this particular moment, because it's really sad. We see Max's hands and feet twisting. We see her like with the blood and the basically no eyes. And it's like, oh no, this is not happening. And she's telling Luca, because she's able to wake up thanks to 11, that she doesn't want to die, she's not ready, and it's really sad scene, and she dies on Luca's arms. But she's eventually get to the hospital, she's able to live, but she gets into a coma. Now 11, Mike is talking to her, so she's hearing him, and she's able to kind of wake up and kind of overpowers Vecna. And he's telling her, I love you, I have loved you ever since the day that I met you. You mean everything to me, I can't lose you. Like, that type of kind of motivation. And she's able to like get down, and she pushes Vecna, and she has him. She has him. And because she has him now and he's not in control, Steve, Nancy, and Robin are able to move forward into the house and to get to Vecna and basically burn him once and for all, just like Freddy Krueger. Remind me a little bit of Freddy Krueger. And kill him once and for all. And he kind of disappears. But you might be thinking, where's Eddie and Dustin? Eddie and Dustin were with the bats, and they get into the trailer of Eddie, and they're supposed to be leaving to the real world. But Eddie, he's like, I'm not running away. So he cuts the rope that they had to go to the other side. He leaves on a bicycle, and he takes the bats all away, be really far from Dustin so that he can leave, and Eddie leaves. Just the bats are on him, and they all go to the floor once Vecna is taken by 11, but it's too late. It's too late. Dustin is able to get back. He's able to get to Eddie, but it's too late, and Eddie dies in the most painful way possible. And he's telling Dustin, like, this is my year. I think I'm gonna graduate. And I'm like, Eddie, please don't do this to me. I cry a lot since I loved his character. He deserved better. And he sacrificed himself for a town that didn't love him and didn't even care for him and saw him as a criminal. And Dustin didn't have no other choice but to leave his body on the upside down. And that was sad as hell. But to wrap things up, the kids are able to defeat Vecna, but since Max technically died, she was the fourth death, so a huge earthquake gets into Hawkins and opens a portal, opens 4 lines in the portal. So Vecna's plan succeeds, although he's killed. 2 days later, we have them all helping people in Hawkins. Since people die, some people that is injured, they think that it's an earthquake, but of course the kids know that this was something even bigger. 11, Mike, Will, Jonathan's, all that group, they get into Hawkins. Finally, Nancy and Jonathan seen again. We have them all coming together once again. But the reunion that we were waiting for, Hopper and 11, they get to the cabin on the woods that they were living before 11 left on season 2. And they finally get together, and we have all the group together once again. Now, here's basically the last 2 minutes of the last episode. Dustin, Robin, and Steve helping in a shelter. And we had the saddest scene after Eddie's dead. And it's Eddie's uncle. He's putting some flyers that he's missing because people keep putting him like horns and that type of stuff. And he's like, I'm not going to stop. I'm still looking for him. And Dustin tells him that he died on the earthquake. Of course, he doesn't give too many details, and he gives him the necklace with the guitar pick, and he's telling him he was a hero. He sacrificed himself. He never stopped being Eddie. Oh, let me tell you, that scene broke me. That scene broke me to pieces. And then we have Luke and Erica with Max on the hospital. He's reading to her, and 11 gets to the hospital to see her best friend. We really get to see of the bond that two created. It's hella sad seeing Max that way. And basically the episode ends with Steve, Robin, and Dustin on the shelter, Luca and Erica on the hospital with Max, and all the other ones together on the cabin. We see something that is falling from the sky. It kind of looks like ashes, but it's not ashes. And they get to a hill, and what they look, it's all that is coming from the upside down, going up to the sky, and we see the lightning and the red stuff that Vecna had, and it's like the last moment, seeing them all with the determination that this is not over, but we're going to fight. And that basically ends. It's a very emotional episode in many ways, and I just loved it. If you didn't realize it by now, I just loved it. I am just sad that my dear boy Eddie is dead. I am happy that Steve is alive. I'm not gonna lie. I was rooting for the boy. But well, that is all at least for the summary. I try my best to explain it as quick as possible because, like I said, it's a lot. Now, really, I think that this season really is indeed one of the best ones, if not the best one. Since I do love the first one a lot because of the first one, but I think that this one overcomes a little bit because of the special effects and also the character development. You can really see it from the first one to here. Specifically, Nancy and Steve, these two characters, they have developed a lot, and I love them, both of them, the reality. And of course, we have lost a few of them over the past of these years, but definitely it's never going to stop hurting these characters' deaths, but maybe they were for a reason, character development, that type of stuff. Now, what we can expect for season 5, I have no idea. only the jump on time. How much time? We will have to wait. I think that these 2 episodes are 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s. This whole season is a 10 out of 10. It's amazing, it's brilliant, it's everything I was expecting and even more. This was epic and I can't wait to season 5. I just hope that we don't have to wait that much. I'm just hoping because my heart can't take to wait that long once again. But well, I think that this is all. Thank you so much for watching the realities. I don't really have much to say rather that this was amazing. And Eddie, that hurts. Really, it hurt. And Max, but I am just like, Max is alive, but of course when she died, it was sad as hell too. I didn't want her to die. I don't want any one of them to die, but we cannot control that. Of course, people will die, specifically when these things happen in series. But well, I think that this is all. Let me know what you thought about this season. Which episode was your favorite? For me, my favorite definitely is the 7th. For me, that's the best episode of all. What do you thought about this season? Let me know. Have you ever watched Stranger Things? If not, what the hell are you waiting for? What the hell are you waiting for? You need to watch this. And well, this is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.